This is Flip Flop. Welcome back to Flick Flops, the podcast where we dive into the deep end of critically rotten films and tell you if you should don a life vest. In this episode, we're tackling Meg 2: The Trench, a sequel to the 2018 sci-fi action film The Meg. In this film, we again join a group of scientists who must outrun, outswim, and outsmart the titular Megalodons when a malevolent mining operation threatens their mission and forces them into a high-stakes battle for survival. Should you dip your toe in the water or sit this swim out? Find out as we confront Meg 2. Shut up, Meg.
And our never-ending quest of Megalodon films, Gary. This is definitely one of them.
This is the third.
Yeah, this is the third one we've seen. So let's do this. We'll jump right into the stuff, and then we'll get to our thingy, and then do the stuff.
Right. Couldn't say it any clearer.
I think I did that right as you were speaking. The numbers, ladies and gentlemen. So Rotten Tomatoes, one of my favorite websites to sit and spend time dwelling on, has this film sitting with the critics at 29%. Definitely rotten from that end. And with the audience, it's 73%. So quite a chasm there. Quite a Marianas Trench.
Yes, it's quite the trench between. Very nice. Very nicely played, sir.
Hard to set it up, and then you spike it right down. So technically, based on the critics, it's considered rotten. The budget for this film, I couldn't find an exact number, but it said somewhere between 129 million and 139 million. So somewhere in there, let's go high and say it was 139. Box office worldwide, it brought in $377 million. And this film came out like August 4th of 2023. So in a very short window, it's made a lot of money.
Yeah.
So I don't, not a flop in that sense at all. Written by the same guys that wrote the first one. Directed by Ben Wheatley. I looked him up. He doesn't have a whole lot to offer. A lot of his stuff is rotten. I mean, none of it that's mentionable because, again, not a slam on him. Just nothing no one's going to recognize that I know of. So that's all I got numbers-wise and writers and directors and all that happy horse sense. So we can get right into that. And we can go right to our ratings if you want.
Yeah, let's do it.
That sound tells you it's time for ratings, ladies and gentlemen.
That's right.
This is Ass Crack and Backsack coming to you live.
And we're back.
We're back. What?
It's 2 for Tuesday.
2 for Tuesday. Trench 2, Meg 2, whatever. Let's see. I'll go first if you want, Gary. My rating for this film, and again, remind everybody, our rating system is backwards because why not? So typically in a film where you'd get 5 stars or 2 thumbs up or whatever if it's good, or no stars or no thumbs up if it's bad, Gary and I decided to make ours more unrealistic and difficult to understand.
Yes.
So ours, the lower the number of poops or toilet papers you get, the better it is.
We like to take the rating system and flop it.
Boom. That's
anyway.
A mic drop. If I could take my mic off and drop it, I would have done it. But this costs more money than I want to spend on a new microphone.
Yeah.
So anyway, my ratings for this film is...
And we are at 2.
Boom. I give it 2 turds.
2 for each Meg.
Yeah. Look. I liked it. It's entertaining. And we'll break it down here in a minute.
Yeah, let me throw mine out there. I very similarly.
I gave it 1 TP.
Which I believe is the same I gave to the first one, and I believe you gave it 2 to the first one.
I did.
Like I did. We're right in the same vein. We felt the same, I guess, about both movies.
Absolutely. Look, the film it's entertaining. It is insanely unbelievable. There's not a thing in this film that happens except for the fact that there's a helicopter that does go up in the air. That really does happen in real life.
and maybe they actually filmed one. So,
and water does. Jet skis do go into the water, and there are boats in the water. That is very realistic.
If you like the first movie, you're going to get more of the same in this, except for I feel like it just pushed it out even further from realism. They just went even more over the top.
Look, this movie made me literally get on my computer and look up, could a Megalodon really still exist? because I'm really curious now. So real quick, my notes on these films, and this actually could go back to the first one too. And I didn't have a lot of notes because I really was just watching the movie. I was enjoying it, and I was like, I'm not gonna sit and just totally look for stuff to crap on. It's a good movie for what it is. I expected a giant shark, and I got a giant shark, and I like Jason Statham, so it all works out for me. So my notes, Gary, chime in whenever you think it you want to add something. The first note I come up with: why are Megs so mad at lights? It seems like they get drawn to like moths to a flame if there's lights.
They're used to the bioluminescent lights of different plant life and flora in the trench,
the underwater,
and the unrealistic LED lamps and other things that they bring down on their subs just pisses them off.
Yeah, they don't like it. Is that what it is?
I think that's what it is.
Because that's the one thing. Like I'm watching, like, well, how do we know they're so mad at lights, and why are they so mad? Like, you turn the lights on, this thing, it's on just a dead shot. I want to kill. Lights are bad. Smash lights. And I was like, find another way to light the damn ship up. The little girl, Mei Ling, I think her name was Mei Ying in the movie. Her screaming multiple times, "We're all going to die." Thank you for being on the ship. That you're helping the situation quite a bit.
She's an optimist.
God damn! I was like, shut up. So when they get into when the poop emojis hit the fan emojis, they're underwater and they're heading towards the underwater station because they have to, because their little submarine has been destroyed. I put in my notes, luckily, the underwater station was user friendly because they just jumped right into the computers and were able to open airlocks and dams and turn lights on and shut lights off. And I was like,
they're professionals, Andy. Professionals.
My
Did you
Mac,
see the high tech place they came from? And now
I
they
did.
go to this little, run down little joint by comparison. Of course,
the computers don't time out after a couple minutes.
Rudimentary over here when they're like,
you don't need a password or a finger ID. Like,
man, they don't do that on this.
My little MacBook requires all of that.
Yeah,
it just shuts down. But not the underwater secret layer that's mining the inner Earth for this $1 billion ore.
Right.
Not that. These guys can jump on and
isn't there a laptop in there that takes a real beating but still works?
It does.
Yeah. Anyway,
kudos to the case manufacturer. Those guys should get the next just obvious. And this isn't just this film. This happens in a lot of films where there's fight scenes that are super unrealistic. But this one particularly, the bad guy Montez, him and Statham are going at it hardcore. This guy gets smashed in the face with a steel pipe. Right?
Oh yeah, I love these.
Completely just lays this guy out with a piece of steel.
Yeah.
Cut to he's on the oil rig, and nary a bruise. Not a bruise. Not a swollen eye. Not a like Jesus. Is there anything on my face right here? Not so much here or here. Right here.
There's
just nothing.
No concussion protocol.
So at this point, why do we have these massive fight scenes except for the Foley artist to make some extra money with clangs and chings? And because when you hit somebody in the face, it sounds like metal hitting metal. Chink. Right. I know that's just being super picky, but I always marvel at that.
Yeah.
So I jump to the beach scene where the Fun Island, as they call it, the
Fun Island,
Island, which kind of want to go to a place called Fun Island. Where did the giant octosquid come from that was pulling the helicopter out of the sky?
Yeah, that one's one where it was like they didn't really give a whole lot of introduction to that. It was just a little hint of it, but it was like, I'm guessing it's just another creature that came up from the breach. You remember that?
Why is he so mad at helicopters?
It wasn't, and he's mad at people on decks.
Like, I think they're giving octosquids a bad name.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it's like he's just. First of all, would he be beached at this point? If this thing is as big as the arms, he should be stuck on the sand, like flailing, like ah.
Right.
But he has
Yeah.
enough sense with these tentacles to reach up and grab a helicopter.
Well, he's
And
just looking for food, Andy.
hell,
I don't
hell,
know. I got nothing.
um, and then
You know,
the
open and shake the can. Shake the
is
can.
that what it is? Is to get
I don't know.
ketchup out of it?
It's
I
like a
like the also the cheesy one line see you later, chum.
yeah, yeah,
Because in my head I was like, oh, that'd be funny if they said a line like that, and then he does. I'm like, fucking spot on, man.
yeah, yeah.
And I'm not saying I could have written that. It's just I enjoy a pun and I enjoy a witty line, and I'm like, say something about chum right about here, and he did. I was like, well done, writer, well done.
We haven't it's been since what, the 80s since you've really seen a good movie where there's some good one-liners in it
Yeah,
every
yeah.
time they kill something or someone.
Right. Yeah. So that delivered wonderfully. And then my
Yeah.
last note that I just thought was, and again, in a film that's so over the top, it was interesting that the Megalodon is full bore towards Statham. Well, it's out at sea, going for somebody else, and he picks up a helicopter blade. I have no idea what these things weigh. I'm
Right.
sure it's more. They're not made of balsa wood; they're made of steel. Statham, who I guess is quite strong, he picks up and he's slamming it into the water to make noise because again, these things hate noise and lights. And again, so he's slamming it and he's making giant noises. And the Megalodon, he's mad. Ah, smash! I'm coming towards you, and he's just full bore towards Statham. And Statham holds up the blade in the air, Gary, as the shark is coming down, and he holds it still as I don't know, he probably weighs a couple of tons, just comes down on top of the blade, and Statham just hold.
Andy, you should have said spoiler alert.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Gary. Edit that real quick before I get it.
It's interesting. Hey, hold on. Interesting point though. You kept talking about how they don't like lights, and I guess it has to be lights because otherwise, if it was light in general, they would be snapping at the air because they're up at the surface where there's natural light.
It's almost like they're gremlins or something, you know?
Yeah.
Except the opposite. You can get them wet, but you can't.
Yeah.
Bright light. So again, I mean, I know I'm just nitpicking, and I know if anyone's still watching, they probably think I'm just an idiot, and you're probably right. But this is just when you're making the movie, do you go, yeah, this will work. No one's going to question the fact that he picks up a chopper blade.
Yeah, you're in it for the over the top action. I mean, if you don't go into this for realism, obviously.
Yeah.
So,
but what glorious fun this was to watch.
Yeah, it really was. It was like the first movie, a lot of the same notes, but they added they add some twists to it. They added some more creatures to it. They added different setting. There's a little bit different setting. They brought back, I think, the one Megalodon from the first one.
Yeah.
Or the child. There was a child that was left over, I guess. Yeah. So I don't want to ruin any of that. You should watch the movie. I think
spoiler, Gary.
Right. I will say this. I was looking up a good quote review from Rotten Tomatoes. I pulled mine not from a Rotten. I know you're gonna read a Rotten off probably. Mine is from a Luke Y. Thompson from Superhero Hype. This is not a Rotten. He gave it. Well, it doesn't say what he gave it, but it's fresh. He put it might be the metaphorical Citizen Kane of brain dead, expensively upgraded sci-fi channel style shark exploitation that flatters China. Like, that's one I just got to read just for the Citizen Kane.
Anything that references a Citizen Kane, I am a fan of. Wow, I didn't even see that one. I love it. God, that makes me laugh, makes me smile. I'll give you a real quick one that I got a kick out of. And again, I always delve into the Rotten reviews because I think people are pretty funny when they're ripping on a film.
Right.
This guy, Edwin Arnaudin, I'm sure I'm butchering his name, and I apologize. He's from something called Asheville Movies. Arnaudin. Anyway, he says, quote, Ben Wheatley is a good director. The Meg is dumb fun. This toothless sequel is neither good nor fun. Score D+.
Deep. I want to know the turd or toilet paper scale from that guy.
So, I mean, look, I wish we could live in a world where there are these underwater labs like this. It looks awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I'll say the one thing I loved about this movie was, and I don't remember the character's name, DJ, the black guy. Right?
Oh, he was great. Yeah.
He was fantastic in this movie because he had his backpack and he had all his stuff. And I'm like,
he learned from the first one.
The whole time I'm thinking, like, why did he come back? Because the first one, he did not want to be there.
Right.
But he explains it. And I'm like, I love the way this character was written. And I love this. He's a great actor. And I truly love that one.
Yeah.
And Gary will put his name in down here in post. So.
Dang it. More work.
Shut up, Meg. So anyway, yeah, this is fun. And I would recommend this to anybody, you know, and you don't need to see the first one necessarily to understand what's going on, but
I mean, there's just a tiny bit of tie-in from the last one, but like you said, with that particular character, it is funny to see him from movie to movie and see his kind of character thing. So this was big fun, and this is a popcorn movie. Definitely
enjoy it. Don't dig into it. You'll get nothing out of this film, but it is it's fun. It's action. It's ridiculous.
Yep.
It's just ridiculous.
It's over the top. It's the Meg times 2. Anyway, that's dumb.
Like
don't even laugh at that.
But again.
All right. Thanks everybody for watching Flick Flops. Please like, comment, and subscribe. We appreciate all of the support and all your comments, and let us know what you thought of the Meg 2. And is there going to be a third? Who knows? Fingers crossed. Let's see DJ come back.
I don't know, but we are digging for more Megalodon movies to continue our nonstop quest for great Megalodon films. Make sure you use video asses too.
Hey, I'm looking forward to the horror films that we're going to do for October. So
coming up for October, we're doing.
Join us for those.
Yeah, we'll be doing some horror films. Hopefully, some bad ones. Get away from these hit movies, Gary. Let's find some crap.
Do some more Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey.
Yes.
All right, we're out of here. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
This has been a Touch of Madness production, brought to you by the creative minds at Tommy Twins Media.